Hello Sim Gamers, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Derail Valley Simulator, a game by Alt Future. It's available on Steam Early Access, and links for the Early Access game and of course the official Discord will be in the links in the description below. Today, we're getting this beautiful blue beauty, a new locomotive, the DM3. DM3 just literally is the abbreviation for a diesel mechanical 3-axle locomotive. So leave a like if you're looking forward to seeing this new locomotive in action. Remember to subscribe and enable your notifications if you want to receive notifications when episodes of Derail Valley Simulator or any other simulation games that I play come out. And of course, leave a comment in the description below about your particular favorite locomotive and why. So with that said, let's head on into the station office and grab the job we're going to be doing today along with this locomotive. Now there are some jobs coming up here relatively quickly that we could afford the license for right now if we have a longer train. But it takes a $10,000 license to have a longer train, and this is going to like exceed the capabilities of our current locomotive. Same with this one. So we sort of need a more powerful locomotive to actually do these jobs. The job we're actually going to take is this one. This shunting job right here. Should be able to get done in hopefully a half an hour or 40 minutes. Go ahead and just grab that and put in my inventory. But before we can do that, I mean, I could just do it now and then buy the locomotive, but that's no fun. Part of the point is actually buying the license for this locomotive and then using it for this shunting job. So go ahead and confirm this, grab our wallet, pay for that, leaving us with a mere $5,000. But we are about to get paid another $10,000, which should then give us plenty to do this shunting order with. Okay. Let's get this order accepted. There we go. Here's the booklet. So this order is 2 drop-offs. We're gonna grab this load of cars, a train full of cars, on track Charlie 4 incoming. Move them also over to Delta 1 loading, the loading bay. Get them unloaded, and then separate the car into separate the train into 2 sets of cars. One going to Charlie 1 storage, and then the other one going to Charlie 9 storage. So, first things first. Let's get this, get over here to our locomotive and get it booted up. And then get over to our first stop. So I will take a brief moment to go over the basic functions of this new locomotive. Obviously, well, actually let me get started up first. We'll make it a lot easier. Here's the electronics breaker, electronic switch, the starter breaker, and the starter itself. Go ahead and turn that breaker off, and then turn on the dash light so we can see what the heck we're talking about around the cabin. So here is basically all of your breakers and switches for the locomotive, and all of your gauges, including your oil, brake pipe, pressure, temperature tachometer, sand meter, speedometer, all of that. Here's your fuel level. This one has 2 different switches for wipers. They're basically different speeds of variable wipers. When they're both on, the wipers will be on all the time. And then we have these switches controlling basically what mode our lights are operating in. This is the normal operation mode. Since we are going to be doing shunting, forward and backward motion, if I turn lights 1 on, what we end up with is the daytime running lights are on both in the front and the back of the locomotive. If I turn these off and turn these on, then I get the actual lights that illuminate. And of course, the final stage of that is if I turn both of those switches on, we get our high beams, basically. But we don't need that right now. We just need our running lights. Here's our fuel cutoff. Here's our sanding valve. Now, instead of it being a button switch, this is actually a valve that can be adjusted to give us a little bit or a lot of sand. Our horn. Super awesome. and our controls. Now we have two things new in this train engine that we didn't have in the other one. First of all is an engine brake. We won't be using that in this session because this is more for long hauls. It allows the compression and the friction and difficulty of an engine actually running to help slow the train down as opposed to using brakes. This is our train brake. Now this brake has a different operating mode than what we were used to. Previously we just pulled the thing all the way back and that was, you know, full go and push the thing all the way forward, or vice versa, and it was full, you know, full braking. But this lever actually has three positions. It has this, which releases air pressure, and if we leave it in here, it's going to slowly release air pressure from even our main tank. This is the normal running mode. Notice that in the running mode, the red bar isn't changing. We're not actually gaining any brake pressure. So if I want the train brake, I apply a little forward. It starts adding that to the brakes. Put that in running position. We're no longer adding more to the gauge, but we now have like 1.5 bars of braking. And then I back it off to empty the brake. And then back forward into running position. Now I oftentimes forget to do that, especially when shunting. Typical stuff: reverser, throttle, our independent brake. This is where this train really gets something unique. This is the transmission right here. And it actually controls which gears we're on. Now the best way to think of this transmission, rather than it being a 3x3 transmission that we don't really know what's going on, I think of the left one, especially when playing in keyboard and mouse. I think of the left lever as the actual gear shift, and kind of like an 18-wheeler with all of its gears. I think of the right gearbox, as a range splitter. So here we have first, second, third, low, high, and overdrive for our ranges. If we take a look down here, it does give us a recommended shifting pattern to go through 8 gears, even though there are a total of 9 available. But I don't actually use the 7th gear on this one. And I want to give you a quick explanation as far as why. Let me go ahead and pause the game here, and we'll take a look at this overlay. Now in this overlay, it actually shows you how this 3x3 transmission sort of connects together to generate different gear ratios. The left gear switch has a set of gear ratios. The right gear switch has a slightly different set of gear ratios, and if you multiply those together like you would in this transmission, you end up with your final gear ratio. So, first gear, if we take a look at, once again, thinking of it as a range splitter, the left one being the gear shift and the right being the range, low, high, and overdrive. First gear, low, combines those two gear ratios of 5:2 with 8:3, providing a final gear ratio of 20:3, which is really close, not quite, to 7:1, right? Then if we use that range splitter to go to second gear on to the sort of the high gear on the right one, we end up with a final gear ratio of 5:1. The next gear shift we do is second gear in low, which gives us a final gear ratio of 4:1. And then second high gives us a gear ratio of 3:1. Third low gives us a gear ratio of 8:3. 2 high gives us a gear ratio of 2:1, and then when we go into overdrive, we're 1:1. And that is to say, for every revolution of the engine, the powertrain axle also turns 1 gear. So in this setup, I'm actually only using 6 gears, and that has to do with how the shifting is actually set up. So I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of what I'm talking about, and sort of the order of sequence. Since I'm on keyboard and mouse, I can only move one thing at a time. So this is first gear low, then we go into first gear high. Then it's important to move the gear first and then the splitter. That's second low, second high. Once again, if we get up to that speed, shifter first, then the splitter, 3 high, 3 low, and 3 overdrive. Now we don't need that. We're probably only going to go to 2 high ever. Oh, it's becoming quite foggy outside. So, let's actually get our job going. We are currently on 4I. No, we aren't. We are on... Where are we? This is one of the 2 parking places. Next to Charlie. So, what do we got here? We want to go to A. So we're on one of these parking places next to Charlie, facing... Looks like we're facing southwest. Just want to verify that. Yes, we are. So we need to head over to Charlie to pick up our first load, Charlie 4I. So we're just going to drive forward past 1, 2, 3, 4 junctions. Get all my brakes off. Check the gauges, those are good. Fully release our parking brake. Double check the light above the brake pipe. We're all set. Supply some go juice here. Need to actually put it in go, and I've killed the engine somehow. So let's go ahead and just flip on the breaker and start it again. Okay. Just double checking our gears here. Everything's fine. That brake's off. This brake's off. Okay. Starting to go. Here we go. It's a little bit of gas to get us going. Once we're coming up on about 1,000 RPM, switch that into 1 high, accelerate again, switch that into 2 low, hit it again, and then 2 high, and we can really sort of coast along here. Actually, we can speed up until we get to about 20 kilometers an hour and do that. So there's 1 junction, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 junctions basically. But it looks like this one out here is our final junction before we leave the area. Let's go ahead and kill this gas and then come to a stop. Shift back down into our low gear. Get that swapped over. And we're heading for Charlie 4I, and I did say we were going southwest. So we're on the southwest side. So we need to take this right and then go left to get to the Charlie yard. Okay. Into reverse we go. We'll go once again through the gears, and then we can actually start cheating a little bit. Since we're only driving the locomotive and no cars, do the high gear, do the gear first, and then the splitter when going up. When going down, do the splitter first, and then the gear. All right. That looks good. I'm not actually seeing where we are. I think we're actually going over to Bravo because it's foggy and I can't really tell what's what here. Yeah. Let me just fix that really quick. So I want to go that direction. Okay, that takes us to Charlie Yard. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pop it into too low and just use that for now. Okay, we're coming in from the southwest, which is the top of the page, and we need to go to 4I. So it's a right, and a left. A right, another right, and a left. Yep. And that over there is Charlie 4I. So that's where we're headed. Go ahead and give this a little slow down here. One of the nice things about this is that since it's a mechanical train, it will slow down to the idle speed of the engine, which is pretty cool. That comes in really handy. I'm just gonna keep this view. It's a good view. Okay, we're coming up on our cars here, so I'm gonna go ahead and shift that and shift down. So the engine is actually causing us to brake. Partly because of the compression of the engine. The other thing I really like about this DM3 is that when we get close enough here, I'm going to go ahead and apply a brake just to get us near a stop. Now the train is basically idling backwards. We can get a little closer before idling. Alright, here we go. Let's come to a stop really quick and keep on going. So the locomotive... Oh, and it also has windows that open, which is awesome. The locomotive is now just idling backwards, and this speed will not cause any damage to the cargo or the train when we bump here. At least it shouldn't. It may have caused a little bit, who knows. Lock that off. I'm going to go ahead and put this reverser in neutral. Everything else is good. And let's go check the manifest here. Yeah, see, no damage caused, so we're going to go check the manifest. We're looking for 340, yep. That brake is good. 330. That brake is good. 069. And that brake is fine. 995. That brake is fine. And the last car, 907, and we know this one is the brake we need to disengage. I guess technically I should have done that after hooking this up, because if I was on a slight hill, that train would start getting away from me. But yards tend to be pretty darn level. Not always, but most of the time. Okay, we're still facing southwest, so as we drive forward, we're going to be going out the southwest side here. And our next goal is to take this to the Delta Yard. So we're going to go past 1, 2, 3 junctions to get out Charlie, and then 2 more junctions. So we basically need to pull the train all the way out of the station. What might actually be easier, now that I think about it, is if we stay in reverse and back out to the northeast side, because then I'll be able to see what's going on. Let's do that. Release that brake. Now I want to double check. The train brake hasn't released yet, so I need to actually go ahead and put this in that mode to release the train brake. Train brake's released, put that back in its running mode, and We're loaded up with full cargo, so we're going to go ahead and go through the gears. I think that was just wheel slip. Yeah. This locomotive has a lot of power. One high. Two high, or one low. Go high and then hit the splitter. Too much. There we go. And we can just truck along here like so. Can't see much, but we're just backing out the northeast side, right? Take a look at this. We're facing north, more northeast than anything. When I see that we've gotten past all of these, we're basically going to be pushing out up a hill a little bit. So we will need to use our full brakes here. And then go over to Delta, which from here is going to be a right-hand turn when we get to the correct junction. It's that set of tracks up that way. Yep. So this junction looks like it's correct. We're starting to back this train up a hill a little bit, so it's, you know, having to lug down. You can see that we're losing RPM, losing speed. So maybe we go to back off the throttle and go down to low. But it looks like we are actually past the junction here, so let's go ahead and hit the train brake and flip this over to Delta. Okay, we can release the train brake now. 2 bars, 1 bar. You can see we're actually just moving, because for one thing, we're going downhill. For another, this train actually, or this locomotive has a fair bit of power. Okay, and my reverser set wrong. Okay, we are specifically going to Delta 1L. Wrong book. Okay, we need to go this way, past 1L. Let's go ahead and give it a little bit more gear, a little bit more speed. Delta 1L is into this yard and all the way left. Chugging along at about 10 kilometers an hour, maybe 12 kilometers an hour. Which is fine for hitting these. Now we're coming from the northeast. Hitting these junctions. So this single junction will take us to one left. Right there, I can see the sign. And since I'm actually pretty secure in the route, I can go ahead and stomp on the gas a little bit here. Gear, then range. more. Too high. And we'll just pull it through. But wherever possible, this is the routine I like to follow. Going forward when I'm pulling into the yard and backing out when I like to leave. And the main reason for that is because just kind of the way the train yards work. Oh, I almost gotta be careful, you can blow the engine. I shifted a little too quickly there. I'm gonna check to see if this train is fully in the area. Well, it'll say if the train's in range. Okay, where is the unloader? Look for that red light right there. That'll tell you where the unloader is. And it says this train is in range to unload. Bingo. There we go. All the cars are unloaded from the cars. Now, once again, I want to back out, just make my life easier. Because our next step is to bring this over to... we've got to go to 1 Sierra, or 1 Charlie 1 staging. And it'll actually be handy for me to look at which particular cars are going there. So it's 907 through 330, which is those cars. And then the next phase of the order is to put this one into 9 Sierra. I think the easier way to do this will actually be backwards. We're gonna go to 9 Sierra first. But our first step is to back out of Delta so we can drive into Charlie. We're in reverse, that's off. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, parking brake is off, check our light, okay. Oh, we have our train brake on, we're not going anywhere. Okay. Let's get that going. Now it's very important to throttle down before shifting gears. You can cause damage to the transmission. And of course that damage is coming right out of our paycheck. Okay. That's all the way forward. Gear, then splitter. Splitter. And the reason, like I said, the reason I like backing out of a yard is because when you're in any one of these yards or in any parking spot, if you're heading out and away, every single intersection is a merge. So you just eventually naturally end up on the outbound track. It can't be helped. Very few yards. There's 1 or 2 yards that actually have some places where if you are kind of backing out through a middle line, you might end up merging somewhere weird. But that's the exception and not the rule. Generally speaking, if you're backing out from a yard, you will leave the train depot no matter what. So we're backing out all the way to this junction, once again back over here, to switch over to the junction that'll take us into the Charlie yards. Alright, let's go ahead and start bringing this train to a stop. Takes a little bit. We might need a smidge more room. That should be good. Okay. Flip that back over. Take a peek here. Yep, we're good. Forward. Release that brake. Begin accelerating, and once that pressure is let go, put that in running mode. And we're intentionally going to go quite slow because we have to go to Charlie 9S. So that means from... we're heading southwest. It means we're on the northeast side. It's all right turns. Every single junction, right turn. So this junction, right turn. Yeah, it's over here. This junction, right turn. Right, right, right. Okay, I think we're in a situation now where we can actually, oh, I did it. I forgot to throttle down. Now I want to be a little bit slow here because there is a lot of hazmat stuff all through here. So I want to make absolutely certain that I'm headed over to this track and not colliding with stuff. Oh, in fact, hang on. Is this track empty? So this one has stuff in it. And so does that one. Alright, hang on. I need to look and think about this. So we need to pull the train through to the other side. What's going to be a lot easier is... okay, what's going to be easier is to back out. Bring the whole train through, 1S, and then go from there. Okay. Remember to put that back in running mode. This train is this locomotive is really, really fun to operate in VR because you can get both hands on these levers and use all the gears that you have available to you. Like all 8 gears, actually technically all 9 gears. But okay. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Now we're back at the edge of Charlie Yard, so we need to go to 1S, correct? For this part. So we actually pull forward all left turns from here. Left. Left. And this is actually a whole different yard, right? This is... if I went that way, I'd end up going to Bravo, which we don't want to do, or the through line. So, forward gear, drop those, release the brake. In 1 Sierra, we're going to let go of the locomotive and the front, what, 4 cars? Yeah. Now, once the cars are actually off this train. So if we wanted to, we can skip gears. It's okay. It's not going to harm the transmission if we skip gears here and there. Gonna cruise along at just shy of 20 kilometers an hour into 1 Sierra, which also has something in it. Interesting. We have some advanced shunting going on here, everyone. Do be careful about shifting down those gears. All right. Well, we're gonna have to hook up and push that car out of the way. So we've got to hook up to this, take this car with us, I guess. Awkward. I'm going to go ahead and idle forward here. Assuming we actually have enough power in this locomotive. Which it feels like we do. Oh, chef's kiss. Want to go a little forward. We're pushing into it now. Brilliant. Okay. Mine on. Over here. Hook up first. Okay. Release that. All right. Back in here. Okay, well, we're going forward some more. We apparently had some air pressure in that particular car. Really, we're just going far enough to make sure this entire train is in the area, right? Yeah, we're good. Now, now I need to come back here and set this brake. Over here, set this brake. Underneath here, release this car. And I need to release myself. The brakes are set, so it shouldn't go anywhere. It's one of the reasons I like shunting where it's a bit of a Towers of Hanoi problem. Okay, I'm moving hardly anything, so I'm just going to go straight to second gear here. Release all my brakes. We're pulling away. Bingo. Okay, let's go. So we're going out this direction, the southwest direction, which means We need to get completely out of Charlie and then go to the Bravo Charlie junction. And then back up. Come all the way through. Grab the other car. Bravo Charlie junction is... must be up here. Yeah, it's all Charlie. So Bravo junction is right about here. That one right there. Okay. Really, I'm actually aiming for the through line. I don't know why I hit the train brake. I don't need the full train brake. I just need the right. I don't need the full train brake. So we're going left, left, and then right from here to go through through this through line, basically. Into reverse we go. We could just use a 2-speed transmission. We'll go 1 high in reverse. Set that to operating mode. Release our brake. We have a horn, might as well use it, right? And then we're just backing up this way. I'm going to go ahead and hit the Z key to, or X key to go down a little bit. Left, left, and then right. Should be the through line. Although it looks like this is a through line as well. They don't have Baker Yard labeled. Weird. Doesn't matter. We can get a little bit more juice in this goose now. Since we're really realistically clear of anything. There's all the stuff we just dropped off, and we're looking to pick up this last car and get it into position. How am I doing on time? 44 minutes? Oh, we're not going to get the bonus today. At least I don't think we are. Maybe we will. Sure, I gotta step on it if we want to, though. So if we really, really want to get into third gear, we need to do the gear first. Oh, sorry, the gear first, and then the range. I guess I'm just taking this car along with us for the ride. This junction way out here is the one that switches us over to Charlie. Come to a stop, make sure my throttle's fixed, get into the correct gear. Into the correct reverse setting. Okay, now. Allegedly, supposedly, we should automatically go to the correct line, right? Left, left, left? Yep. All lefts. Okay, cool. on. What's going on? Oh, lovely. Oh, wow. I pulled my train to where it needed to be, but I didn't pull that train to where it needed to be, so I actually need to... I've derailed. Impressive. This train is totally fine. This is what's derailed. One reload later. Not that there's any traffic. Figured I'd take a look both ways. Yeah, it's this junction here. Now, one thing I need to keep an eye out for is actually making sure that both my locomotive and the train are clear of the junction before switching them over. I'm going to go into too high, forward, we release the brake, let's go. Going to too low. Now I want to crawl forward at about 20 kilometers an hour intentionally because, again, we're going to connect to the cars over here on Charlie 1I, right? And pick them up and move them. Starting to get close to dusk out, so I will turn this on to headlight mode. Charlie 1 Sierra, or Charlie 1 staging, Charlie 1 shunting, Charlie 1 storage, whatever you want to do there. Do be careful when downshifting. Want to make sure that you're actually slowing down enough to where you want it. Downshifting makes sense. Okay. So when we get pretty close, we're actually going to idle forward. I don't recommend getting out of moving trains in real life or in this game, but sometimes you sort of just got to. I do like the fact that the keyboard and mouse game, a version of the game has a zoom. I wonder if there's a zoom available in VR. That'd be really handy. Okay. Okay, we're there. Let's go ahead and set that. Gears are good. Neutral. And oh, hang on. Safety first. So now we go here and get this part of the train connected. And release the brake. Okay, into reverse we go. Release our brake. And our other brake. And we are now backing out. Once again, I want to double check so we're facing south. We're backing out of Charlie 1 Sierra. Basically on the bottom of the page here. And we're moving it to 9 Sierra. So we're going from all the way left to all the way right. All right, easy enough. We still got some brake pressure in the train brake. That just gives you an idea of the power of this locomotive. I'm surprised the wheels didn't slip, to be honest. Backing it out. We'll go ahead and get our reverse lights flipped in mode as well. And as I'm backing out slowly here, I'm going to go ahead and take a look over here and grab all these junctions and get them set correctly. We're going over there to 9 Sierra. We gotta make sure we get all the way past this. That looks good. And double check. Yep. So we're going all the way over here to 9 Sierra, which is this way. And it looks like this rail is also occupied, but it has enough room for at least one car, maybe two. Okay, forward gear. We'll just go into high. Sure. Incorrect. I actually do need to make sure to put that in running mode though. Alright, here we go. So you can see when shunting in this kind of operation, this locomotive isn't actually all that complicated to run. If you think of this as a range splitter and this is the actual gear shift, you can sort of simplify things a little bit. And we can one notch at a time sort of begin shifting down. Once again, in this case, we're slowing down. In this case, we're going in reverse order, so it's splitter first, and then gear shift. And then splitter. I'm just going to idle this back to get it out of the way. I do want to make sure that this car is out of the way of any intersections of any junctions before detaching from it, so I might need to pull it out and stick it there probably, just to be safe. I'm going to put a couple of units of brake in just to help slow me down here. I want to kiss this train behind us. There we go. Okay, how do we rate this clearance? I'm not confident, if I'm being honest. Let's go ahead and set that brake all the way on. Get disconnected from here. Forward gear. No, reverse gear. Double check that our train brake is actually clear. And we'll just pull it out past this junction right here and swap it over to that other track that has more room. I think is the best thing to do. And it looks like the train is turning correctly. Great. Let's get it up there as far out of the way as we can. Want a little break so we can just idle this thing back here until it comes to a stop. There we go. All right. I'm relatively happy with how that turned out. Let's set my parking brake here. That brake goes on. And we are disconnecting. And we're shutting down. Double check my brake is on. This brake can get released. It's in neutral. Fuel cutoff. Lights off. All switches off. Internal lights off. Those breakers off. Electronics off. Shutdown complete. Now we're in Charlie 9 whatever. So the office is due north. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. Let's check in and see how we did on this actual job. So this vehicle is a little complex. It actually did slow us down as far as being able to complete this job on time. But it's still pretty fun to operate because of that manual transmission. So we got a base payment of $10,000. No time bonus because we took forever doing that. But at the end of the day, we didn't cause any property damage. So that's definitely a bonus. Let's see here. Our wallet has $16,353. Let's go ahead and double check our fees we need to pay. Oof. Because of this locomotive, we're actually paying $3,367 in fees, leaving us with just shy of $13,000. But that's actually pretty great. That leaves us with enough to buy our Long Haul 1 license, which we will take care of in the next episode. Until then, I'm Sim Gamer, and this has been Derail Valley Simulator.